time. You ready?
Yep.
Cool. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here, and welcome to the Neureal Community Livestream for May 26th. My name is Kyler Anderson. I am the Community Manager for the Neureal Project, and I have with me today Jen Grayson. Jen, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. I'm CEO, technically, of Powered by Neureal, and I sit on the board of Neureal. And this is the Oregon edition of the community live stream. Kyler and I are about 30 miles away from each other right now. So,
cheers.
Yay.
Ships passing in the night.
Absolutely. So, yes.
All right. So just a bit of shopkeeping. You may have noticed a bit of a difference. I had to move offices this last week. That's why none of you have seen very much of me in the chat. I'm sorry. I'm here now. I'm not in it today, but we've got a professional studio here, so I'm going to be able to produce some really interesting content coming up that I think you guys are going to enjoy. What else? We've got a bunch of other news from this week, I believe, Jen. I know that you've got something that you're sitting on that we really badly want to release, that you're just like fixing grammar, and I'm so impatient. Any updates on the gold standard document?
It's closer.
Okay.
How about that?
That's a good update. And again, that's the document that Jen's laying out, where we're kind of putting out just best practices for the industry, things that we believe that other projects are going to, us and other projects are going to be able to use to move forward in a way that is not only compliant with current SEC regulations, but actually in some ways goes further to protecting customers. In many ways, I should say, goes further to protecting customers and making sure that everybody gets to participate in a fair and equal way. So there you have it. That'll be out very soon. Another huge update. If you are part of the project, if you've been circling and you have development talent, whether that's AI development talent or specifically blockchain programming talent and smart contract programming talent, now is your time. We need you. We have tokens available to help you, for you to help us. And we have several tasks that we're going to be laying out. If you are a developer, please reach out to me, and I will do a short interview with you. And if you qualify, I'll add you right into the development chat so you can see all the many tasks that we are laying out. Did I miss anything there, Jen?
No, I think that's a good one. Can we dive into that just a little bit at all?
Yeah.
So that to me is probably the most exciting development that has come out of the last week. We all sat down with our advisors, Will and I did, and sat down with our advisory team to really find out what we can do to support Will so that we can hit our milestones. We know a lot of you are very eager to get to the token sale. We are obviously very eager to get to the token sale. And Will came up with a great idea where he could come up with a list of tasks that developers could help him with to really get us moved, to get that finish line moved a little bit closer to us. And so instead of trying to tackle everything himself, which he's tried to take on because he's such a phenomenal coder and perfectionist, he's decided to really take on some help with that so that we can get it done a little bit faster. So we're very, very, very excited to be able to have ways that developers can help. We know you guys have asked for a really long time. So we're really excited to have that opportunity for people now. So Kyler is going to drop the link to the dev team in somewhere. And if you are a developer, hop in there, and there's a list pinned to the top. And that is really the biggest thing right now holding us from getting to that token sale. The foundation documents got submitted. We have one housekeeping thing that needs to be done. I talked to the attorney on Friday. And so Will and I are going to get that last piece of paper over to him on Tuesday, and we should have that done next week. So foundation's done. The KYC needs to be coded, and the foundation coin needs to be coded. And so those are all pieces that we would absolutely love some dev help on, just to get us a little bit closer. And Will's been really overloaded with that. It takes a lot of emotional and mental.
There's a lot of facets to it.
Yeah, there are, and it's a lot, and he's just one guy, and unfortunately, no matter what we try to do, there are only 24 hours in the day. So more hands would be fantastic.
Sorry, Shadow. I know. Just to address the elephant in the room, everybody. The slight clicking when Jen is talking, it's a known issue that we can't fix. We tried, we couldn't figure it out. So
the
I
truth
apologize.
is that I have a mechanical cat as support animal.
Yep.
And yes, I can't do
We
this
just
without
all got to
it.
deal
So
with
sorry.
it. Sorry, Jen.
I know.
For you.
I know one of these weeks, like I'm going to get to do a live stream that does not include my technical issues.
I sent you a link for the mic.
I know.
It's
I
a
know.
USB plug-in. It goes blink, blink, done.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Just shaming you a bit more.
I know. I guarantee I would not have brought that with me this weekend anyway.
Not.
So next week, yes.
Okay.
All right.
All right, everyone. So another really awesome and interesting thing. So I mentioned this last week, but I want to dive deeper into it now because I've actually been working on it today, and it should work out fine. It's going to take me a lot of time to do, but we are going to be releasing very rapidly some rough translations of most of our documentation in, I think, 8 separate languages is what we kind of settled on. I'm going to be doing that using Google Translate for the most part, but here's the deal. We want you guys, our community, to help us with this. This is going to be another bounty task. We will figure out how to get it added to the site itself, but if you speak another language, and we've added that language as a translation, read through the documentation. If you can spot anywhere where it's mistranslated or could be translated better, reach out to us at info@neureal.net. Send us an email with what part is mistranslated and what you would correct it to, and then we'll give you tokens. That's how that works. That easy.
Simple as that.
Yep. And that way you can help us get a better translation. But remember, guys, in all these translations, these are courtesy translations. They're just to make it easier for you. The document was written in English, and if there's ever any question as to what the interpretation of something is, it has to come back to the original English document. So
it will always default to the way it's worded in the English document. Yes.
Yes. So, but we do want to be more inclusive, guys, because we realize that we've started to attract a global following, and we've had troubles interacting with some of you, and we need to bridge that gap. So
yes, not for lack of want, for sure. Like, I wish I spoke more languages. That'd be lovely.
Also, can I just say I got my first entry into the Neureal video contest, and
Yay.
I am so excited about it. Did you get to see it yet, Jen? Were you
I did. It was fantastic. No, I totally bought. Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh, we've been waiting for an entry for months. I was like, yeah. I think I was in the middle of 17 things, and I was like, yeah, nope. Put them all on. Watch it right now.
Yep. So we got 4 minutes of a lovely, I believe he's Indian, but I'm not 100% gentleman, explaining what Neureal is in his own language, and then going back through and explaining what he'd do with it. And I'm going to share that link after here because I really want to highlight it. It's fantastic.
Yes. And you too can be highlighted if you submit an entry.
Absolutely. Not only can you be highlighted, but we can discuss your vision. And again, ultimately, if the community votes on your vision and it is compatible with the Neureal network and what it can do, your vision will be endowed. We will onboard your vision onto the Neureal network. It'll be the first thing the Neureal Foundation does once the network goes live after mainnet launch. So, woo! Just a reminder to all Neureal community members, if you're also EOS token holders, which I assume quite a few of you are, the deadline for your registration is coming up, June 1st. Go get that done. There's a number of resources to help you get that done, but get it done. Don't let them disappear into the ether. That's kind of funny, actually. All right, so I think that's all the business out of the way. No, wait, one more thing. One of our advisors has generously offered to fund us to go to 1 to 2 more events before or during the token generation event. If you know of a blockchain, or more specifically blockchain AI focused event anywhere in the world or anywhere near or around you, please submit the links to those in the main channel. We're going to pick through them, decide on the best one, and then clear it with the advisor, and then we're going to dispatch a team. a crack team of pitching
Yes.
commandos. All right. Is there anything else, Jen, before we move on?
I'm trying to think. I think those were the big ones this week were the translations, the developer list. I think that's it. I don't know. It felt like this week we crammed a lot into this week. It feels like I hope we're not missing anything. I don't know. If so, we'll.
I've been out of the loop for days, man. This is me after 3 days of moving my family.
I know. I know. Moving is such a good time.
I
Not
hate it
disruptive
though.
at all.
Isn't it the
No. Oh
best?
my God. It's the
Oh.
best ever.
All right, so today we actually have a mission. Jen, we're going to talk about a part of the project that we haven't done a lot of talking about, and it's been strategic, is what you've explained it to me. Is that occasionally, to the right people, we'll talk about Powered by Neureal, but normally we don't, and the reasoning is that we, understanding what Neureal itself is complex enough. We don't generally want to throw too much on people, but I assume that if you're one of the couple of people out there watching the community live stream weekly, that you do have a general knowledge of what's going on. And so we wanted to kind of delve a little deeper into what's happening and talk about some really exciting opportunities that are coming up. Why don't I pitch the time over to you for a bit, and you can tell us all about the wonder that is Powered by Neureal.
Absolutely. So really, as you know, we all know what Neureal is and the open source software and what that looks like and how you can access that network, at least what the ideal scenario is, what that looks like. But as Will and I talked through that, there are going to be a lot of people who want to be able to use Neureal that aren't going, you know, especially when we talk about companies and corporations, that are going to want to use what Neureal is, but they're not going to have the bandwidth to bring on a blockchain developer, an AI expert, but we still want to be able to give them the predictive capabilities of Neureal. And so what we wanted to create was a way that we could easily onboard those corporations and companies that have the need and the desire to be these early adopters and to do it in a way that doesn't overhaul what they're currently doing in their current companies. So we created Powered by Neureal, which is a way for us to take the data scientist in a box that's already being created with Neureal and take it one step further and be able to integrate what Neureal is into these companies, because most of them are going to have a technical aspect anyway. They're going to have software that they're using, they're going to have their live data streams, they're going to want decisions. And that really is kind of the big piece that for me is what Neureal answers. We don't need more data. We have never needed more data. We are overloaded with more data. And the Neureal side is really just kicking back data, but in a manner of predictions, but you still have to make a decision based on those predictions. And so what we want to do with Powered by Neureal is to be able to streamline that one step further for these business owners, for the people on the front lines that are already trying to handle the capacity of making business decisions on a day-by-day basis. They know they want AI, they don't know where they want AI, they don't know how to use AI, but they know they want it, they know they need it, they know it's going to give them an advantage. And so what we're going to try to do with Powered by Neureal is have that be the B2B enterprise solution for access to the network. Instead of saying, yeah, we have this really great thing, and if you can just bring on an AI expert and a data scientist and a blockchain expert for, you know, some of these companies that probably is an expense and bandwidth that they wouldn't even know where to start, and just to kind of streamline that for them. So that in kind of a nutshell is what Powered by Neureal is. And like Tyler said, we haven't really talked about it because what has been forefront and most important is to really get people to understand what Neureal is first. And Powered by Neureal is just an extension of what Neureal is in a way that becomes the revenue generator that gets us out in front of clients and makes a very customized, personalized solution for what they want and what they're doing.
If I could pull this to bit, Jen, I think the other side of this, and this is the less sexy, less dignified, less glorified portion of it, but as you look into what it takes to actually integrate AI, any kind of AI, but specifically predictive AI, into your business and actually use it in a useful manner, one of the pitfalls that you find out about is that the really unsexy part of it is that most of the data that we have isn't formatted correctly. isn't formatted in a way that works. And so that's the other side of Neureal, is taking all the, or Powered by Neureal, right? Is just taking all those bits and pieces and helping people get their data in a format that will actually work for the Neureal network, and onboarding them that way.
Well, and the one thing too, the caveat of that is, and this is a big thing that Will's always stood on for a really long time, is that the beauty of Neureal is that the data doesn't have to be in any format. It can, the more raw, the better, because then it allows the AI the freedom to go through it without the bias of humans that we put on it. And so I think the clarity that I see with Powered by Neureal is on kind of that final end, instead of on the front end. And so whatever the data is that's getting dumped in, the AI wants it in the most raw form possible, but the output is going to be something that we can clean up and make understandable and clear to the business owners that are requesting these predictions, so that they can understand, okay, I need to take this item off my menu and I need to increase the price of this menu item, and that's going to impact my bottom line. And some of the clients that we've already brought on, and this is truly speaks to the limitless ability of Neureal. We have one that is oil drilling, and then we have one that is restaurants. And so they couldn't get any more different. And we have one that's, I'm looking to partner with one that's using AI in construction right now. And so I also think that we're going to be able to move into these very unsexy industries that are willing to adopt AI, so that we can increase the awareness and impact of it in these unsexy industries, and move into the ones we all want it to approach, which is healthcare and the big hard-hitting ones where we're going to start saving lives. But there's a learning curve with AI. It's scary. It's the unknown. And so by moving it into these sectors where we're not talking about doctors making life-saving decisions, is that 2x4 straight? Is a little easier route to really start applying it and take a look at what that looks like.
Perfect. All right, and so do you want to talk a little bit about when the split happens, when the execution happens, and how that's all going to happen, how Powered by Neureal gets its start, and why we've set it out that way?
So the way we've envisioned it, and it's kind of always looked this way from really the beginning, when Will and I realized that there was a need for the split. Once the token sale is complete, what will happen is, and this is being drafted into the smart contract, so it's as decentralized as possible, versus how a lot of token sales at the end become centralized for at least a moment as the money transfer happens. The smart contract, right, it will be coded so that a portion will go to the Neureal side, to the foundation, and then a portion will go to Powered by Neureal. And Powered by Neureal will also be subject to the same milestone protocol that Neureal is, where Powered by Neureal will have to execute those same milestones in order to get the second and third rounds, 4 rounds. I think there's 5 total releases of Ether according to the milestones. And so Powered by Neureal is subject to those same protocols, and but the two will operate independently and together. I mean, obviously there's going to have to be a lot of collaboration. Powered by Neureal is actually the first AI blockchain entity to be set up in Wyoming under their new blockchain legislation. And so that's really exciting. And we've gotten a phenomenal amount of support from the Wyoming Blockchain Coalition. We're really excited about what's happening over there. And so I think we're going to see Wyoming continue to aggressively move forward into the space, which is pretty fantastic. So
No, that is, and you know what else is amazing? And one of the things that brought me into the company in the first place was our humanitarian impact, and specifically the work that we're going to be doing down in Antigua Barbuda. But I didn't realize until I was already in that contract is actually with Powered by Neureal. Do you want to talk a little bit about that contract, how you got it, and what's going to happen there, and what the plan is, and why we're having Powered by Neureal tackle that one as opposed to the foundation?
Actually, it's not Powered by Neureal. There is actually a separate, because of this was at the request of the Antiguan government. There is a separate Barbuda Foundation, which again, this is going to be coded into the smart contract, that the Barbuda Foundation will get a set amount of money after the token sale, which ends up being a percentage. And as we sat down with the Antiguan government, what they really wanted to be able to do was have a foundation that was very clearly earmarked for Barbuda and very clearly delineated that money was for the rebuild of that island. And so as we talked with the government, and as I was down there working with them, this was a request that they made, and one that we wanted to honor, to be able to really honor their culture, who they are down there, that this really wasn't us coming in on our white horse to try to save them. This really was, let us help you, and what can we do, and how does it need to be organized so that this is something that you guys understand. This isn't, this is something we're really serious about doing and really serious about helping. So there are actually, so at the end of the token sale, just for clarity, that those funds get distributed into 3 separate places. So it goes to the Neureal Foundation, which will be set up in Nevis. It goes to Powered by Neureal, which is set up in Wyoming, and which also has an Antiguan entity set up as well for that. So Powered by Neureal has both the Antiguan entity and the Wyoming entity, because when we originally set it up, Wyoming wasn't on the table yet. So we set it up in Antigua. So we now have a domestic and an international arm for Powered by Neureal. And then we have the Barbuda nonprofit. So it'll go into those 3 places. There's a document. There are a couple charts, and I don't know if we ever got those posted. They were originally coupled with the roadmap. I'll have to find out if we ever got those posted on the website. We probably should post them, because there's a really great chart that shows the layout of those funds and how they get distributed.
Oh, I know what you're talking about, and I don't think we posted it because it was right as the new website went up.
I don't think we ever did, and there's both, because obviously the way our token sale is happening, there are a couple different possible allocations that are if we hit the minimum, how that money is going to be allocated, and then how the money gets allocated beyond our minimum. And then there's another one that lays out all 3 of those entities, I think. And so it shows the distribution and the percentages to all 3 of those. So those are on those documents. We need to find them, and maybe, I'm pretty sure they're on the Google Drive somewhere. So maybe we can post a link to those so everybody can take a look.
We'll post them
today we're going to release those. Yeah, today's the release of those
there
charts.
You go.
Yay!
Your official release for the day. So I have to pause for a second and welcome our advisor, the fabulous Mr. Chris Snook, who is currently on a cross-country voyage. How's it going, Chris?
Can you hear me?
We can. How you doing?
Doing all right. Just got back in Dallas. Saw my dad today.
Excellent.
Doing a little bit better. He ate a little bit for my daughter. So.
Well, good.
Anyway.
Yeah, good to have you here. Thanks for being here. All right, so. Yeah, we'll release those documents that are going to show, like Jim was saying, we drew up some stuff a while ago that shows exactly where the funds go. It's a good animated way to kind of get a grasp on where all the funds are going to go after the token generation event. And to be clear, where they actually go is that they stay locked up in the smart contract, but over time, they get released in distributions. So.
And before you, I'm just realizing as we're talking about this, before you release those, let's verify that those final numbers are correct. I know Will and I talked about some interim numbers I think since those charts got created. So before you post those, let's verify. Let's say the finals will be out in the next day.
Perfect. All right, cool. I think that is that. So that's the community members real quick. Before we move on to anything else, guys, while we talk about this next segment, do you guys have any questions about Powered by Neureal, Neureal in general, the way we're doing, why the sky is blue, anything? Let us know down in the chat. All right, Jen. What else about Powered by Neureal did we want to talk about?
I don't know. I think that's a good overview to at least kind of introduce it. So we'll start from there. Jordan is right now working with one coder. I guess that the status update of it is probably a great finish for it. Jordan and I have met with Ben, one of our advisors, and he really kind of walked us through kind of a great place to start on the Powered by Neureal side. And we've also talked with Chris Snook and Jesse on his team about being able to code out some of that. I was approached by a student at the Kerala Blockchain Academy in India that I sit on their board of advisors. They are currently working on an AI project that actually kind of fits in with what Ben had given Jordan. And so we're talking about bringing on that team right now and being able to see, if they can kind of test out what we've got working on right now and what that looks like. So, I mean, there is a lot of activity going on that side. We don't talk about it or see it very often because it's just, I mean, it's so far in the background that we don't want to distract from what's really happening at Neureal and where we're at with that. And I mean, we're kind of trying to keep the focus from being diluted. Neureal really is, without Neureal, you can't have Powered by Neureal. Yep. So,
it's become a common mantra around here, but stay on mission.
Yes. Please don't follow the new shiny. No new shiny. Ever. No shinies.
Stay on mission. And mission right now is getting through that token generation event. And getting you fine people your tokens.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes, please. That'll be the best day ever when we get to, oh my gosh. I can't even wait.
So Grant, I know Chris wasn't here, but I'll say it one more time because it bears repeating. Guys, if you're a blockchain programmer, if you know how to do smart contracts, reach out to us. We had been closed to other programmers. Will was going to do it all himself, and he's finding out that there's more than he can really do himself. So it's time to decentralize the development process. Come stick your fantastic chocolate in our peanut butter. It'll be great.
That's just wrong. But I've reached out to James Connolly. Yeah. James Connolly is about to free up in a few days. He's been very busy, but he'd be happy to look at the code, and he's quick. Yes, sir.
That's fantastic.
So there you have it, guys. If you're out there and you're a developer, hop on it before James Connolly comes and snaps up all the tokens. All right, guys. Unless anybody's got anything they want to add, I think that's pretty much it for this week. I have a couple of business items I got to take care of with these guys. Got to get them their tokens. But does anybody else have anything they want to say? Guys, questions in the Telegram. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Okay. No. Hey, we can see Chris's wonderful mug.
Yay!
Doing some of that hotel living. Oh, I hate that. All right. Looks like nobody's got any questions. You're just that good, Jen. You're just that good at explaining. All right. So we need a word of the week this week. I haven't picked a security word this week. I think I'm going to make it Grayson. Let me pull that.
Oh God, don't use X. Nobody can spell it. Make it Oregon.
Use it.
I know. Oh my gosh, everybody's gonna. Americans can't even get that right. Oh my gosh, seriously. Probably because I use the British spelling.
Yeah, which is, objectively, it looks nicer.
It does look nicer.
But that's fine. That's why we display it on the screen. So here you go, guys. Here is this week's security password or live stream password, whatever you want to call it. The one that unlocks your points if you just joined us this week. This week's is Grayson, Greyson. The last name of the CEO of Powered by Neureal. and the wonderful lady here, who I believe I can't harp on it enough, but had a great time without us at the running of the unicorns.
I did. I'm so sorry. And what I did, Kyler, was I did reconnaissance for next year.
Right.
And so I didn't want to, I didn't want to force everyone to have to do that. So I did some recon.
Right.
And we're all going next year.
Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha. So, there you go, guys. Again, this week's code is Grayson. If you are in the chat, say something right now. Just anything. It could even be something. If you say something that's going to allow me to enter you into our weekly live stream drawing, you'll get 100 Neureal tokens, just like that. Or I should say, Neureal.
Oh my gosh! I hope someone's in there.
Oh, it's Shadow. Shadow is
Yay!
always here. Shadow will
always here. Tokens. Thank goodness for Shadow. Oh man.
I know. Hey, oh, and by the way, I'm really sorry, guys. I know that I made an event where I told you to comment on the video, and it turned out later that somehow YouTube had automatically disabled comments, like that it had automatically ticked the box which disables comments on my videos. I should have re-enabled comments on everything. There's no reason we should ever have disabled comments. It was entirely a mistake. If you are not able to watch this live, leave us a comment down below. I will look through them this week. I will enter all of the people who leave comments into a drawing, and we will have that drawing at the end of next week's live stream. Well, not even Shadow said anything, guys. So I don't know.
Oh my! Well, I do have something to add. The oil business in Texas is booming, and AI is totally desired.
Yay!
We have some competition. Oh. Microsoft and IBM are in it already. So we have to get Jesse together with Will, and let's beat them.
I agree.
Yep, absolutely. Well, and I know Jordan had reached out to Jesse a couple times, so he's ready to go. So yes.
Okay, let me go crack the whip.
Yeah.
All right, guys. No award this week. No award. I'm crying foul. No award for you live stream viewers.
Oh my gosh, boo.
Next week, guys. Next week we'll double it. That's what we're doing. We're rolling over this week's into next week. So next week will be 200 tokens.
I think you, me, and Snook get to split them for being here this week.
That's right. The magic word.
I'm gonna say I want to sweeten next week's pot.
Yay! Good job.
All right, guys. Thanks for being here, guys.
Awesome.
Always, you can actually join us during this week's. You can join us during next week's chat if you look into the main Telegram. I drop information that you can join either via computer or phone. If you want to come ask us your questions directly, we're always here. Join us on Telegram if you haven't done so already. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and ring the bell to be notified about when our next broadcast is. We'll be here next Saturday, 7 p.m. MST. Good to see you all. You all want to say bye-bye?
Okay. Yep. Bye, everybody. Thanks for coming or watching. Okay. See
Adios.
you.